It's Nick Walters here at Razorback Stadium as Arkansas hosts Alabama. As we stand here, Arkansas is number 20 in the nation, Alabama second in the nation. The Razorbacks hit this game ice cold, and then in the third quarter, they would catch absolute fire, rattling off 23 unanswered points at the time. However, in the fourth quarter, Alabama would take it away from there, winning this one 49-26. It had been 16 years since the Razorbacks downed the Crimson Tide, and on Saturday, Alabama would show again that more times than not, they are a buzzsaw in the SEC. Right out of the gates, the Hogs fall behind fast to Bama, while Arkansas's offense struggle in the first. Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Bryce Young throws for a score and runs for another. With the Tide rolling, up 14-0, Young is knocked out of the game and replaced by backup Jalen Monroe. But Alabama's attack doesn't slow down, scoring twice to let Bama blank Arkansas 28-0 late in the second frame. With the game already seemingly lost, a KJ Jefferson bullet gets the Hogs on the board right before half. And against all odds, a fiery comeback ensues in the third quarter. The Razorbacks offense finds life as AJ Green scampers in to cut the deficit. The Hogs recover an onside kick and drive down the field for a field goal. With the crowd back in it, the defense makes stops. A long snap gets away from Bama, setting up the Razorbacks on the goal line. Rocket Sanders takes advantage, plowing into the paint. All of a sudden, after 23 unanswered points by the end of the third, Arkansas trails by just 5 and has Bama push against the ropes. But with their home crowd rocking and with the nation watching, the Hogs' defense falters. The Tide extend their lead from up close and far away, allowing not one, but 2 70-plus yard touchdown runs from Jahmyr Gibbs. Bama outscores Arkansas 21-3 in the final quarter, as Nick Saban and the Tide dominate when it matters most. And now Alabama has beat Arkansas 15 straight times as Arkansas falls to 3-2 on the season, now 1-2 in SEC play.
Finally scored there right before the half, but we didn't start well. Part of that, I'm sure, is because of Alabama. But, I'm proud of the team for the way we came out and fought back into the game. I mean, we were in it. And 28-23 game, and he went 77. They scored a couple plays later and got it back up to a 12-point game, and we didn't answer. We hadn't won a third quarter all year, and so we changed it up, and I don't know if it worked or not, or because we was down 21. I don't know. But I do know the kids answered the challenge, and that was good to see.
Offensively, the Razorbacks were offensive to watch in the early going, failing to move the chains and committing their only turnover on a Rashad Jabinian fumble. In part thanks to Bama's mistakes, Arkansas did get a jolt of efficiency in the third quarter, but came back down to earth in the fourth. In total yards, the Tide paced the Hogs 555 to 377. Arkansas put up just under 200 yards in both passing and rushing, failing to find a way to move the ball consistently. Dropped catches and missed opportunities made Hog fans miss Traylon Burks, the receiver lighting it up last season in Tuscaloosa. But a lone bright spot on the stat sheet is Rocket Sanders, managing to crack 100 yards rushing on 22 carries. While Alabama's defense is star-studded and elite, the Razorbacks offense showed that they certainly have room to improve.
On offense, we got to throw the ball better too. We're right now we're one-dimensional, and we've got to be able to throw and catch and protect and all those things. And it's got to be better because we can't just turn around and hand the ball off and beat really good teams. So we got to do better. We always are going to try to establish a run to throw play action off of it, but we either weren't getting open or we weren't throwing it accurately, and we couldn't stay on the field. And against Alabama, you're probably not going to be able to turn around and hand it 3 times in a row and get a first down all the time. So I was disappointed, but I just didn't feel like we threw the ball well.
At the end of the day, I feel like just going out there slow. That's what we did, and we're gonna fix it. When you're playing a good team, a great team like Alabama, it's like when you mix up, they're gonna do something the next drive.
Not as clean of a game as we should have played. Obviously, you can see that from anywhere. I really think that had we come out of the first half with a little cleaner of a game, mentally, it would have been a little better. That drive right before half, I think really was a good spark for us. We showed the tempo and the versatility of what we can do. against a good team like that, you're down 28-7 at half, it's hard to dig out of that hole. And we were that close to digging out of it. We just got to find a way to finish it.
The offensive team stats Arkansas found an advantage in were first downs and time of possession, and that's mostly thanks to the Tide scoring at a rapid pace, or later on, with one uppercut. Alabama transfer Drew Sanders led the Razorbacks defense with 12 total tackles and a sack. Bumper Poole also got into double-digit tackles, while Nudie McGlover started the game with a pick. At the time, it seemed like Arkansas's defense could give Alabama fits, but be it with Bryce Young, Jalen Milroe, or all their other weapons, the Tide had their way for 3/4 of this ball game. Without Jalen Catalon for the rest of the season, there's areas to clean up at every level of this unit to get back on track.
We got to get better. We've got to tackle better. We seem to say it every week, but we got to eat up space better.
Thought we rallied well as a group, but we just got to continue to work, continue to get better at the things that we're not good at. But I was proud of the fight, and we're gonna get back in there and emphasize third down, making sure that we continue to get better at it.
Definitely proud of how we fought back there for a little bit, but third down obviously got to get better at that. Missed assignments, any gaps, but just little things we get better at. I think for the most part we did some good things, but just didn't quite finish them off at the end.
So after Arkansas is ranked at number 10 in the AP poll, the Hogs are now on a 2-game skid, falling to Texas A&M and Alabama. It's reminiscent of last season when the Razorbacks dropped 3 straight games after cracking the top 10. The Razorbacks will have the chance to bounce back next week with their first true road test of the season at Mississippi State, a team that just upset Texas A&M.
Last year we lost 3 in a row and turned out and won 4 of the last 5 or 5 of the last 6, whatever it might be. We got to find a way to turn it around. I know we've played 2 really good teams the last 2 weeks, but we've got to play better regardless of what the score is, what it becomes. We've got to play more consistent.
This past year, we've done a really good job about taking that next step after a loss. So, this group is a resilient bunch, and no matter how hard or how bad it hurts right now, we're going to get in there. We're going to go to work because that's all we know. And that's the only thing that, got us to this point.